The Phoenix Suns are disintegrating before our very eyes with Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Now the news has come about that the Suns and Kevin Durant are going to work together to figure out a deal to get him traded to another contender in the NBA. With that, this is likely going to be Kevin Durant's third team in the past 4 years. So, where first off, where do you think Kevin Durant's going to land? My thoughts initially are, I look at the New York Knicks, and believe it or not, I look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now the Thunder, you wonder why would the OKC need KD? Well, we know that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a bona fide superstar on that team, but you look at the rest of the Western Conference going on. The best teams have more than one superstar that's going to contribute to the game. Now Jalen Williams for OKC has been really good. The other night he just put up a career high of 41 points. But you still have people around the league and fans questioning if Oklahoma City can really get it done when it matters. You know, we saw it in the Western Conference Finals last year when they ran into the Dallas Mavericks, a team that had two superstars with Luka Doncic at the time and Kyrie Irving. It proved to be too much for them. I have a different attitude about OKC this year. I think they have a great chance to go to the NBA Finals, and I think having that experience last year really helped them grow as a team. And I think they'll know more about what's coming in the playoffs. But again, there's still questions about this team. But getting back to KD for a second, I think Oklahoma City will probably be the best bet. You have a bunch of assets, great players good role players that you can send to Phoenix, and this will be good for Phoenix, because they can get some relief on that cap space and start to kind of rebuild. But if you're going to do that, I can imagine that Devin Booker and Brad Beal are probably going to follow suit. I think Bradley Beal will probably waive that no trade clause in his contract, and I think Devin Booker's going to want to ask out as well because recently there was a report that the Suns coach Mike Budenholzer had reportedly told Devin Booker to tone down himself as far as being vocal. And watching Devin Booker over the years, I don't think that's who he is. Like, he's not going to not talk and not be vocal. So you got the coach telling your franchise player in Devin Booker to tone down who he is. That's not going to sit well in the locker room, I imagine. So this team is absolutely just falling apart. You watch them play, it almost looks like they don't even want to be around each other. It's like, so when you get to that point, it's time to really decide to separate the team. And it looks like it's going to start with Kevin Durant, but this this is the stuff that comes out that makes you scratch your head about KD when it comes to legacy. Why we don't compare him to the likes of a LeBron James, a Kobe Bryant, a Stephen Curry, because is KD really a guy that can carry you to a championship? The evidence shows that that's really not the case. His best his best chance of doing that was in Oklahoma City when they were up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors. Should have had them beat. I'm sorry. I think it was 3-2. Should have had them beat, but you blew it, and then you went ahead and joined that team that just beat you. You won two championships. You were the Finals MVP in both of those championship runs. We get all that, but ever since you left the Warriors, you haven't been able to even get back to the finals, the conference finals. There's been years where you're back home sitting at home in April and May. We're not seeing you deep in the playoffs. We're seeing you scratching to barely make the playoffs or just don't. So now the Warriors have won a championship without you. LeBron's won a championship. Another championship. They brought one to LA for his fourth. We're still waiting for Kevin Durant to emerge as the guy that can, really carry somebody to a championship ever since leaving Golden State. Because many believe that was part of the reason he wanted to leave in the first place, because it wasn't quote unquote his team. It was Steph Curry's team. So you did that, went to Brooklyn, joined Kyrie Irving and eventually James Harden. That was an ultimate failure and it flamed out. Although, yeah, you had Milwaukee on the ropes, but you stepped on the line because you got a big foot. Regardless of all that, doesn't work out in Brooklyn. Now you're in Phoenix. You get destroyed by Denver. You don't make the playoffs another year, and now here we are. We're talking about you possibly getting traded again. So it's just it feels, and I don't even like saying it because Kevin Durant's is going to go down as probably the greatest scorer we've ever seen. Step on the basketball court, because there's nothing on the court that he can't do, and there's nothing you can do to defend him. But you just look at him, and it's just like, we can't put you in the same stratosphere as LeBron and these other phenomenal all-time great players. There's tiers to that. We're kind of forced to put you at a tier below these guys because you can't seem to get it done to carry your team to a championship unless you have a Stephen Curry. That's the only evidence that we have of you getting to the finals and playing as well as you have, because you had a guy like Steph Curry. But ever since then, it hasn't been much. It hasn't been much to be said, and that to me takes a shot at your legacy. again, I'm not a fan of saying this about Kevin Durant because he's one of my favorite players to watch of all time. But it's hard for me to really like make an argument for you that this doesn't sting your legacy a little bit. It's cemented. You're a two-time champion, and you're again going to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest scorer the game has ever seen. But if I'm being consistent about talking about winning championships and being up there with the greatest of all time, there's some knocks that seem to get in the way when it comes to Kevin Durant.